Hi everyone, welcome to the course Become a Business Analyst, your path to success. As discussed earlier, this course is structured around the Babok guide and for simplicity is divided into 9 comprehensive modules. We have already completed modules 1, 2, 3 and 4. Module 1 provides an introduction to business analysis perfect for those new to the field or from non-IT backgrounds. Module 2 focuses on the Babok knowledge area strategy analysis, where we learn how to define business needs, access organizational capabilities, and recommend effective solutions. Module 3 dives into the business analysis planning and monitoring, another Babok guide area, where we explore how to plan BA work, identify stakeholders, choose the right elicitation techniques, and monitor the performance of business analysis activities. In Module 4, we explored the requirement lifecycle management, where we covered all 5 key steps in details and saw how each step helps keep requirements organized and under control throughout the project. Now we are in module 5 and in tutorial 15 we covered requirement analysis and design definition. We learned how to break down stakeholder needs, define clear requirements and design the right solutions. We also explored how to verify and validate requirements to ensure accuracy and alignment. Along with that, we have covered how to avoid scope creep by staying focused on what's truly needed. To make it easier to follow along, each tutorial video is numbered sequentially. If you ever need a quick refresher or clarification, you can easily revisit any previous tutorial at your convenience. All supporting documents and useful links are readily available in the video description for quick and easy access. Now we are into tutorial 16, that is process modeling. In this tutorial we will dive into various process modeling techniques and you will learn how to visually represent business processes, understand how to workflows across different teams or systems and identifies area for the improvement. This will help in analyzing current process and designing better and more efficient process. So without further delay, let's get started with tutorial 16. Process modeling is the practice of visually documenting, analyzing and designing business processes to understand how work gets done within an organization. In simple words, process modeling is just about drawing out how work happens in business. It shows who does what and in what order so that we can find gaps, fix issues and make things smoother. Well, process modeling is critical activity in business analysis that supports decision making by highlighting inefficiencies, redundancies or opportunities for improvement in workflow. In short, it helps us spot where work is getting stuck, repeated or can be done better so we can make smarter decision and improve the way things flow. Now let's move on and check key objectives of process modeling. Well, it helps in visualization. Well, provide a clear picture of how workflow across task, department and system as well. Well, in short, it helps us clearly see how work moves from one step to other step or other team to another team like a map of the process. Next is analysis. It identifies gaps, bottlenecks and pain points in the current process. Well, here we can spot what's not working like delays, missing steps or anything slowing thing down. Then it helps in optimization as well. It enables process improvement by suggesting more efficient workflows. Well, this means that once we see the issue, we can suggest better, faster ways to get work done. Then it improves the communication as well. Well, faster collaboration and shared understanding among stakeholders. This means that it gets everyone on the same page like business team, technical team or other teams to understand the process better. And the last is automation. It is kind of laying foundation for system implementation or process automation. In this In short, it sets the stage for using tools or system to automate repetitive or manual tasks later on. So in this way we can say that process modeling helps us. Now let's check the key elements or key techniques involved in process modeling. Well, there are four main techniques involved in process modeling, as we can see that: flowchart, then unified modeling language, that is UML. Under UML there are various techniques, but we will only see use case diagram, which is frequently used. Then data flow diagram, and the last is most important, business process model and notation, that is BPMN, which is also known as cross functional flowchart, or some may call it as swim lane diagram as well. So we will see each technique in detail, so it will help you in your business analysis journey. Now let's see when to use process modeling. Means, as we are right now we understand what is process modeling, but we know, means, when the role of process modeling comes in the entire journey of business analysis. So process modeling is used at two stages. First is at analysis stage, and second is in design stage. So we will see it one by one. Well, process modeling at analysis stage, it create as is process model to analyze current workflows, identify inefficiency, and understand pain points. It helps in design to be process models to proposed improved workflow and solutions as well. Well, tool use here are, means, the technique might be the flow chart. You can use BPMN here, or means you can use another technique as well available. So it gives clear visualization. In short, in the analysis stage, which is very initial phase of the project, so here you can use the process modeling. Well, before I move forward, if you have any doubt about this word like as is, to be, then analysis stage, then design stage, then I request you to visit tutorial 4, that is strategy analysis. You will find the link in the description. Then we can use process modeling in design stage also. Here, when we have to be model available, we can refine to be models to ensure alignment with technical and business requirement. Use models to guide solution design and communicate workflow to developers and architect. Well, in short, process modeling can be used at two case stages, as we have seen. First, at very beginning during strategy analysis, where we try to understand the current process of the system. This is the as is state. We map out how things are working right now, then we identify the gaps and come up with new solution, or to be state, where we can know how we want the system to work moving forward. This is where process modeling helps us visualizing the changes. So at analysis stage, we have cleared that we can use the process modeling, and the second stage is during requirement analysis and design definition. In the current module which we are in, that is RAD, here we take the to be process from earlier and we refine it. This refined version becomes the foundation for the system design. Essentially, means what essentially doing, we are taking our earlier ideas and making them more detailed and actionable, ready for development. So in this way we can use process modeling. Now let's see in short what are the advantages or importance in analysis stage and in the design stage. Well, process modeling helps you understand current workflows, identify inefficiencies, and design improvement that optimize the process. It creates clearly and provides shared understanding among the stakeholder. In short, in simple terms, process modeling let us see how things are currently working, spot what's going wrong or slow things down, and then plan better ways to do it. It also makes sure that everyone, like business people, tech teams, and other stakeholders, are all on the same page about how the process works and what needs to be changed. Whereas in the design stage, process models are refined to align with technical and business needs, helping guide system design and ensure accurate communication between business users and developer. Well, here we take the earlier process model which is already built and fine tune it to match both the business goals and what technically possible. Means in short, we are refining it. This helps us, the development team, understand exactly what needs to be built and make sure there is no confusion between business users and developers. It is basically act like a blueprint for building the system right way. System means I'm talking about software, and in our case we are developing the loan management system for the bank. Now let's move on and see techniques one by one which makes you more comfortable with process modeling. Very first is flowchart. Flowchart is a visual representation of process, workflows, or a system using symbols to represent different types of actions, decisions, or steps. It breaks down complex process into clear, easy to understand steps. It provides step by step guide of how a process flows. In short, flowchart is basically step by step sketch how something works. It uses boxes, arrows to show that what happens next, making complicated stuff way easier to understand. Like it is, flowchart is like a cheat sheet for the whole process. Means in a it gives a broader picture of entire system, we can say that, using flowchart, and it is very simple as well. Now let's check the symbols used in flowchart. There are five main symbols which we will use in flowchart. First is oval. It represents the start or end of the process. Then rectangle, it denotes process or operational step. Then arrow indicates the flow between step, means from one step to another step we will show it by arrow. Then diamond, it signifies a point requiring yes or no, means it is taking the decision kind of element. Then parallelogram, it used for input or output of operations. So we will using these symbols we will build a flowchart. Well, okay, I can understand it's getting bored, so enough chit chat. Let's make a flowchart and turn all that chaos into boxes and arrows. So let's develop flowchart that is refined to be processed in loan management system. Now listen carefully, glued your eyes here, and see how things are getting developed in the flowchart. Well, very first, oval shape, which means start or end of the process, we put in the oval shape we put start. Then there is arrow shows from one process to another process, and there is a rectangle means in which we can add the steps or operation. So flowchart start with the oval shape, that is we are starting the process. Once we start process, now what is happening in very first stage? Well, customer will submit the loan application, means for whatever the loan application customer is applying for, that loan application getting submitted here. Then what happened, then the next step is, next operation would be verify the document. Now see, the submit loan application and verify document is attached with arrow, and verify document is also one of the operation, that's why it's under the rectangle. Then during the verification of document, two things are possible, means documents are complete or they might be incomplete. So now it's time to take the decision, that's why we have used a diamond. Now here the decision can be taken, are documents are complete or not. Well, there are two possibilities, yes or no. Now when answer comes no, then we move to in different stages or different operations. Means what happened, once answer comes no, then who are giving the answer, means that is also important. It's not like that someone is speaking, answer comes no, like that. Well, loan officer is there, means the customer who submits the loan, then there is a loan officer along with the software we are developing. They have taken the decision that the document is not as per the mark. So what happened, they will push some button that documents are not completed, something like that. This is not our headache to develop this thing, okay? As a business analyst, our headache is only to develop the process. We are not worrying how it will work. It's developers headache. They will develop, they will code whatever they want to do, and they will give us a entire end to end software for our loan management system. Okay, back to the topic again. Then once it is decided that documents are not complete, then it is obviously no. Then what we need to do, then what system need to do, actually system will identify the missing document. Once the system identify the missing document, then request is went for the missing document to whom, to again first stage where customer is there, submit loan application, means to the customer that request is went that your documents are not completed yet, so you need to provide some document. Means via this we will provide some list of documents that are missing here. So now I hope till now you have little bit idea that what is going on, or what is going on in the flowchart for loan management system. Now let's assume that answer comes that yes, all the documents are completed. Then once this answer comes, then the next stage means next operation will happen. The next operation is check credit score. Now here also there are two possibilities. Credit score might be less, credit score might be high. On the basis of that we will allocate the loan. If credit score is very low, then these are the potential defaulter, so we can't give the loan to such customers. So here also we need to take decision. Then again one diamond comes, and here credit score acceptable or not is decision is taken care. If it is yes or if it is no, on the basis of that the workflow moves on. Now let's see what happened in when it is no. As soon as we get the answer that credit score is less, then the loan get rejected and the process gets end. Again end is under the oval, which means that start or end of the process. Reject loan is another operation, that's why under rectangle it is attached by arrow, which is showing the attachment of processes. And credit score acceptance is in diamond, which is in under the means which is a decision making thing. And now what happened if the answer come that yes, credit score is good, then it is obviously that loan get approved, then generate loan approval report and disburse the loan to the customer and process get ends. So this is a bigger picture of the loan management system or loan management system design. We can say that yes, in this way the flow of rejecting or approving the loan can happen. So I hope now you have a quite a better idea what exactly I am trying to tell you. Well, now try to understand advantages and disadvantages of workflow. First is clarity in process flow. Flowchart provide a visual representation of a process, making it easy to understand how tasks flow from one step to another. Well, you can see this. Effective communication. They act as a universal language between technical and non-technical stakeholders, reducing misunderstanding. See, reading this particular flowchart which is in front of you, you need not to be technical. Okay, it is quite simple and very easy to understand. So it is kind of language and effective communication mode, we can say that. Then problem identification helps in identifying inefficiencies, redundancies or bottleneck in process, which aids in process improvement. Means we can improve the this workflow as well. If you find anything which is not working fine or as per our as per our requirement, then the business side can change the flowchart or they can suggest the changes as well. So in this way we can say that flowchart helps us. Well, there are few disadvantages of also flowchart. Well, can get complex quickly. This means that for large system process, flowchart can become cluttered and hard to follow. Yeah, this is quite true that when the process is quite big, then this particular flowchart, this technique become very hard to follow. It is time consuming to update. If process gets changes frequently, maintaining an up to date flowchart can be time consuming. Well, I added this in the disadvantage, but it's part and parcel of this particular thing. If changes are then we need to adjust it as per that. Then limited for complex logic. Well, this is the biggest disadvantage, I can say. Flowcharts are not ideal for showing very detailed logic or decision making with many condition. Other models may work better in such cases. So in short, flowcharts are super handy way to map out how things work step by step. They make it easier to spot issues, explain process clearly, and plan improvements. Simple to create, easy to understand, and definitely a go-to tool in business analysis. Now we will move to another tool or another technique of process modeling. Unified Modeling Language. UML is a standardized modeling language used to visualize, specify, construct, and document the structure and behavior of the systems. Well, think as UML as a common language used to draw out how system work, both how it's built and how it behaves. It helps everyone, that is technical and non-technical team, to stay on the same page. UML is used to create a variety of diagrams that represent different aspects of a system. Well, it's like having different types of maps for different views. Some show structure, some show behavior of the system, then others show how things interact. Each one gives a new angle of the system. Means there are three types of diagram in UML: structural, behavior and interaction. So structural diagram is these show what the system is made up of, like building blocks, means things like a class diagram or component, something like that. It's like checking out the system blueprint in short. Then behavior diagram, well, this shows how the system acts, what it does and when something happens. For example, activity diagram, and it show little bit flow of action, means how actions are happening, something like that are covered in this particular diagram. And the next is interaction diagram. This shows who talking to whom, how different parts of the system interact or pass the message. In UML, we will focus on use case diagram. Means these are very frequently and popular, and every business analyst will definitely use case diagram in the project. Well, a use case diagram is behavioral diagram with UML that focuses on capturing the functional requirements of a system. It shows how users, which are also known as actor, interact with the system to achieve specific goals. These goals are known as use cases. Well, we will go into detail of actor and use cases, no need to worry. In short, what exactly this particular statement means: it is simple diagram that shows how users like student, admins or loan officer, in our case means if we consider loan officer or customer, interact with a system. Instead of getting technical, it just tells us that the system should do what exactly system should do for different user. Means it is showing the capabilities of system for each and every users which will interact with the system, or we call it as a software as well. Purpose is that use case diagram provide a high level overview of what the system does and who interacts with it, helping stakeholders understand the system's functionality. Well, we have discussed this thing. In short, it gives quick, clear picture of the system feature and who's using this, means who's using the system or a feature or that particular software. It is great for early discussion with the stakeholder. No take jargon or just a straight to the point, means it's not that much technical stuffs are involved. It comes directly straight to the point. Means in this use case diagram are mainly used in strategy analysis. Means it is very initial stage. Generally when we create as is or to be process, at this stage we use case diagram, and means everyone uses it. It's not like that it is just another technique which I am teaching you. We need to use case diagram at strategy analysis, and that almost I can say it's compulsory. Well, before we move forward, let us see what is use case in brief. Will not go in too much detail of that. I have already covered use cases, and you can find the tutorial link in the description as well. So I'll just give you the introduction of what is exactly use case and how we can use it in the use case diagram. A use case is description of a specific interaction or a task that user or external system performs with system or a software to achieve specific goal. Well, it's just a description, means use case is nothing but it is just a description of one specific thing a user does with the system, like applying for loan, checking for a loan status. We can say that applying for loan is a use case. We can write a detail of that, means how someone can apply for the loan, something like that. Then checking the loan status is another use case, because it is a different thing. Applying loan, it is different from applying loan. Applying loan is very initial stage. When we going to check the status, it is after the submission of application. So this is another use case, we can say that. So basically one task that helps them to reach their goal, means it is, we can call it as a task of that particular process or system interaction of the users. And the next is, it defines what the system should do, focusing on the functional requirements rather than the technical details. Well, very well said. That use cases only focusing on the functional and no more technical stuff. No more non-functional requirement. It is just interaction between business and business analyst, and it should be very simplified. It tells us what the system should do, not how it does it. Means how it is working, it's not mentioned in the use cases. Similarly, as a flowchart, it is telling us what the system is doing. How it is, how it will work, will be discussing in different scenario. Then we only focus on what is needed and not the technical stuff, as I discussed earlier. And the last point is, in a simpler term, a use case represent a unit of meaningful works that provides value to an actor, that is user or a system. In short, a use case is like one useful job the system does for a user. At the end of the day, software is developed for someone else who can use it, means end user can use it. I mean, that's the solo purpose of developing any system or software. So something that actually helps to add the values, and it is just a meaningful work should be done by using the system. That something use cases used to tell us, means that is the how this way we can summarize what is use cases. Now let's move on and check the components of use case diagram, and then we will jump on to the creation of one of the use case diagram for loan management system. Well, in use case diagram we will use actor, the symbol you can see that, and actor is also known as persona. Then use cases, which is again elliptical in shape, and the relationship, means to showing the relationship, there is a straight line, we can use it. So actor or persona is who is using the system. Well, in short, if I want to explain, an actor is just anyone who interacts with the system. Could be a person like a student or loan officer or a customer, as I discussed, or even another system. Means it's not necessary that some person should be there. It is another system also can be considered as an actor. Well, I'll park this point right now here, means what is another system as an actor. When we will jump on to creation of use case diagram, we will go detail of that particular thing. And the next is use case. Well, we have already discussed use case, but let me clear one thing. If I want to explain, a use case is just a fancy term for a task or a action, nothing more than that. That actor means that actor wants to do, means the task actor want to do. Actor means the someone who is interacting with the system. They want to want some work from that particular system, is nothing but use cases. As I mentioned, it is just a fancy term, means they call it in a different way, but consider it is nothing but, means just remember, it is nothing but a task. It is simple, meaningful, and it provides values. Means the task may be apply for loan, check loan status, then update profile, approve loan application, something like that we can consider as use cases. And the last is relationship. Well, it is nothing but just a line that connects an actor to use cases. It shows who does what, not more than that. In short, if we take example for relationship, if customer can apply for loan, then we draw a line between these two, means customer and apply for loan, this can be connected, and both customer and loan officer can check the loan status, so both they can connect it by the line. Well, I can understand that it might be much, you might get more confused what exactly I am talking. So without further chit chat, we will directly jump on to the how to create use case diagram, so it will give you a clear cut idea. So shift on the use case diagram for loan management system, and here you can see that the rectangle portion which I have created in the yellow box, this is nothing but your software. We have close that particular thing, considering that this is a boundary, and this boundary is showing that the system or a software. Inside that system there are capabilities of the software or a system that it can do, and this is known as use cases or tasks. So what are the capability, or what are the task, or what are the expectation from the system, from the external users, those who are going to use this particular software? So this particular system should be able to submit loan application, it should be able to verify document, it should be able to check credit score, it should be able to approve loan, then generate loan report, then disburse loan. If credit score is bad, then it should reject the loan. If documents are missing, then request for missing document to the someone who is submitting that particular loan. So these are the use cases, these are the tasks this particular system can perform, or we can call it as software as well. And it is, you can see that it is closed in within the boundary of rectangle. Rectangle means inside the rectangle, not boundary means obviously rectangle is completely closed thing, there is no opening. I guess you have a good idea of geometry. We are not learning geometry here. Okay, then after use cases, now let's move on to actors. So you can see here there are three types of actors: primary, secondary, and system interaction is also considered as an actor. Now let's see each and everything in detail. Why they are primary, why they are secondary. Well, primary customer means customer initiate the process by applying for loan. Without customer, that particular process can't be initiated. So that's why customer is considered as a primary actor. Then secondary actor like loan officers who oversees the application documents and the credit evaluation, something like that. Then the branch manager, he's also involved in high value or a complex loan, means not he's also having decision ability. So branch manager also considered as a that what I call secondary actor. Then now we will move to the system interaction. See, credit scoring system is a complete different software. Okay, it is completely different system. It has ability to check the credit score of the customer who is applying for the loan, but that credit scoring system will interact with our loan management system for checking the or retrieving the data and passing the data to the system after the checking that particular score and telling the system that yes, score is good or score is bad. So for this particular process, this credit scoring system, which is, I am again repeating, which is another system, which is another independent software, but it will interact with our system. So that's why it is considered as actor. And similarly for compliance system, who checks the compliance, banking regulations, somehow they will interact with our loan management system. So once interaction is happen, whether it is a person or whether it is a software to software interaction, we will consider it as actor. Now I guess you have a good idea what is actor and of how system are also considered as actor. Now let's move and draw some relationship here to get a better idea or get deeper into the use case diagram. So here we go. First is primary actor. Primary actor is having relationship. He is interacting, that is customer, with submission of loan application. Means the use case for that particular primary actor is submission of loan application. Then what happened next? Once the loan get submitted, it's time to verify. For verification, there is no no involvement of primary actor, how he can verify the document. So this is the, at this time loan officer will interact with our system or the software, that is loan management system. So he is telling the system to verify the document. Now system is verifying the document, everything is happen. Now here two possibilities are there, and on the basis of two decisions might be taken. One is called extend, one is called includes. Extend means that the documents are not as expected, so the system will not move forward for next particular task, for next particular use case. Where it is going, it is going to the request for missing document. So it will send the request for missing document to the customer. So for this particular use case, customer is involved, because not other, means branch manager is not going to provide the missing document. Okay, who is going to provide that missing document? Customer is going to provide. That's why the relationship is between customer and request missing documents. Now the credit score is happening here. Now we need to check the credit score. So who is going to interact again? Now you can get a clear idea that here the involvement of external system, that is credit scoring system. This is not a person. Okay, this is not a person, this is a different software, but different software is interacting with our loan management system. That's why we called it as a actor. So it is checking the credit score, and once the credit score is get checked, then there are again two possibilities: extension or inclusion. Includes means yes, go for approve loan, or credit score get failed, then go extend and reject the loan. So for these two particular use cases or two particular tasks, loan manager is involved. Loan manager is someone who involved in approving the loan, means he will has a ability on making decision once the approval come from the credit bureau, or reject loan as well, means telling the customer that yes, your loan is get rejected. So the loan officer is someone who will interact with these two use cases. That's why we have shown the relationship between loan officer or secondary actor with these two use cases. The next task we have pending here, that generate loan report and disburse loan also. Let's see how it is working. So for approval of loan, once loan officer follow the process, means forward the loan application that yes, credit score is fine, document is good. Now it goes to the big boss, that is branch manager. Branch manager has that particular authority to approve the loan or give means delay the process, something like that. Whatever the thing involved in within its capability, branch manager take its the decision for the customer loan process, or we call it as a approval. Then this particular branch manager, if decided to give the loan to the customer, then this branch manager will interact with another use case, that is we call it as generate loan report. Then this loan report is verified by compliance system. Again, compliance system is different than the loan management system. It is different software, but it is interacting with our software, means loan management software, loan management system. So we will say that it is nothing but an actor. So the report is get generated, verified by compliance system, everything is happen. Then after that, the last process will happen. Branch manager has ability to disburse the loan and loan get disbursed. Now listen carefully and glued your eyes here very carefully. What exactly I am trying to tell you. See, you have relationship arrows here. Customer to disburse loan, I haven't shown the arrow. Why should I show? Customer is not going to working on this particular use case. He is the one receiver but not working on that. Disbursement loan, the process approval, generate loan report, approval loan, these are few things which are in hand of branch manager, loan manager, compliance system. Okay, what customer do? Customer will interact with only 2 to 3 use cases of this loan management system. He has ability to submit the loan application. Then once the loan application gets submitted and the loan officer find that it is not as per the mark, then again he will submit the verified or refined document to the banking system. Apart from that, there is no control of customer on this system. Customer only wait, check the status. He may get loan or he may get rejected. That's why the relationship arrow is not everywhere. So as a business analyst, we should be very careful and logical as well. Means it's not like that you have a ability to draw the line, you can draw it everywhere. So that's something which we need to take a care every time. I hope now you have a good idea of use case diagram, and it is quite easy and interesting as well. Here again we are not going into the detail of technical stuff. This is simply functional requirement gathering technique. It is used generally in strategy analysis process, very initial phase, and everyone need to use it. Means nobody can skip this particular use case diagram stuff. Now let's check advantages and disadvantages of use case diagram. Well, we can say that it is easy to understand. We have already seen the demo. Use cases diagram are simple and visual, making it easy to both technical and non-technical stakeholder to follow. Then it has clear scope, which help define what the system will do by showing the interaction between users and the system. Then great for requirement gathering. Well, again it is helpful in early stage of identify functional requirement and a user expectation, as we discussed that it is used in strategy analysis process. And it has some disadvantage as well. Too high level, they don't show detailed system behavior or logic, so they made too broad for developer. Means it is not generally for that much helpful for developer. No process flow, means use case diagram focus on what happens, not how it happens, so they misses the step by step workflow. It is something like that. We can see that because we have already seen the flow chart, in which a little bit flow workflow we can see, we can identify that there is how it is working. But in the use case diagram, the workflow is missed. Then can be misleading if not done right. That's the something which I just revised few seconds back, that if we have a line, it's not important that we are drawing that line everywhere. We can't draw the line or can't draw the relationship with every use cases. So it is not structured properly, then confuse stakeholder and leads to incomplete requirement. So it is sometimes it is misleading as well. So to wrap up it, we can say that use case diagrams are a great way to show who is using the system and what they are trying to do with it. They give us a clear picture of the system's main functions from user point of view without diving into technical details. It is a solid tool to start conversation, gather requirements, and keep everyone on the same page. It is simple, it is visual, and it is super handy. Well, we can say that this is all about use case diagram, and it is quite handy as we concluded. So now let's unfold another process modeling technique for the requirement gathering or design definition. And next is data flow diagram. A data flow diagram, that is DFD, is a graphical representation of how data moves through a system, showing the inputs, outputs, processes, and data stores involved. Well, it is a visual way to map out how data flows step by step through a system. Well, you can see where data comes from. Means in the DFD diagram, in DFD you can see where data comes from, how it gets processed, then where it is stored, where it ends up, and it keeps everything organized and easy to understand without diving into technical code. Again, it is not that much into what I can say into technical aspect, means how it is working. It is just we can visually see the flow of data, something like that you can understand in this way. Well, it helps in understanding how information is processed and stored within a system. Well, this makes it easier to see the overall structure and flow of a system. It helps identify which part are doing what, ensure data is going to right places or not, then supports better communication among business and technical team as well. And it's great tool for spotting issues and planning the improvement. Well, the main focus is the flow of checking the flow of data where it is stored, because in very big system it's not like that there is only one data storage, because there might be involved core banking data store, It might involve personal, means the bank software is different. Then nowadays CRM is heavily involved for taking the automation upfront. So these are different thing where data can be stored, and as a business analyst, it is very important for us to understand where data is flowing from one place to another place. So that's why DFD is used. And we'll see the levels of DFD. Will not go that much of detail of that, just we'll check it. Level 0, that is context diagram. This is the highest level which provides an overview of the system and interaction with external entities. It shows a single process, external entities, and the data flow between them. So we will see level 0 context diagram for the loan management system. Level 1 breaks down the single process from the context diagram into sub process. This level offers a more detailed view of how the main process works. It's like cutting down the small process and enlarge it and go much and much detail into that. And level 2, we call it as a beyond that, further breaks down the sub process from level 1 into again slower smaller one detailed process. This provides deep insight into the system internal working. Means level 0 is gives us the broader picture. It shows entire process. Then level 1 is something that picking up the small part of the level in from the level 0, and level 2 is even going deeper into the level 1. Means it will give a specific small part of the that particular software, and will go as much as detail of that particular process. Well, as far as our course is concerned, we will stick to the context diagram. Now let's check core elements of data flow diagram. Well, in data flow diagram, you can see there are 4 core element, means graphical symbols. We can say that first is process. It's an action that transform input data into output. Each process takes some input data, applies logic, rules, and produces some output. So this is something, a process. In short, it is nothing but task which we are performing. For example, a process is a bank loan system could approve loan application. So in previous technique, we call it as a we call it as use case, we call it as a task. Here the name is process, but it is one as the same thing, but specifically DFD is focusing on the data. That's why this particular technique is also used in the business analysis. Then the symbol for data storage, the data store shown in rectangle which is open at one side. We can say that these are the location where data is stored for later use. Data store can hold both temporary and permanent data. For example, a data store could be customer information or loan application. Then the next is a data flow. Here we can see that the symbols are arrows represented. It is represented by arrows, and data flows indicate the movement of data between processes, data stores, and external entities. An arrow shows the direction of data transfer. Well, example we can see from the customer to loan application process. And finally, external entities. These are shown in rectangle. External entities represent by squares or rectangle. These are sources or destination data outside the system you are modeling. They could be other systems, users, or organization that interact with the system. Again, I'll repeat this. They could be other systems. We have already seen what is other system. Then users or organization that is interacting with the software which we are developing, or a system. Means these persons, means customers. In previous example, we call them as an actor. Here they known as an external entity, and they are enclosed in the rectangle. So one has the same thing, but only the notations and symbols are getting changed. Well, if we want to take example, in a loan system, external entities might include customer and banking system. Just I explained you. Again, no more further theory. We'll directly jump into the DFD, and let's see how it works. Well, in very first visual, it seems to be very scary and very messy. Data flow diagram, but we will break it down one by one and make it quite easy to understand you. So let's start the data flow diagram for loan management system. So very first is shown customer into rectangle. Rectangle means external entity, someone who is going to interact with the system or a software. So what customer do? customer submit loan application and that loan application is received. So the process is enclosed into circle and it is named as receiving the loan application. So once the loan application is received, what happened? It gets stored that particular data of customer into loan application database, which means that whatever the data filled by that particular customer is now stored in one database which is known as loan application database. And here you can see that the symbol of database, it is not closed rectangle, it's open at one end. Now the next is what happened, that loan is get forward to the reviewing that particular loan application. So this is another process is going to happen. But who will review the loan application? Then loan officer is someone who is reviewing the application. So that's why loan officer is also considered as external entity. Loan officer is not the part of software. He is not a part of any process. He is not any use case. That's why loan officer is enclosed into that particular rectangle. So for that, loan officer need that data because he want to review the loan application. So that's why he or she will fetch that data from loan application database. Now you are getting the idea how data is coming into database, how data is used by someone else which is stored in the database. So using the data which is stored in the database is fetched by the loan officer to review the loan application. Once the loan application is reviewed, there might be two decisions might be taken, whether it is that particular customer is not with complete the document, something like that, and if it is documents are complete, then we are moving to the credit check. Now it is move for the credit check. Here credit check is going to happen. So this is another process, that's why it is under the circle. So for that credit check also data is required. So that data is again fetched by the database where that particular customer has saved, or that after the filling the application that data gets saved. So you can see that how much importance that database is having and how much importance to know where data goes and from data get fetched for the process. That's why data flow diagram carries some importance in business analysis. So now once the data is received to credit check, to perform credit check, the credit bureau comes in action. Again, credit bureau is something which is interacting with the system. So that's why it is shown in external. It is another external entity. That's why it is under rectangle. So the data is passes to the credit bureau. So to fetch that particular credit score, credit bureau fetches that data exactly from that particular database, we can call it, or we can call it as from the system as well. And then credit bureau return credit score. Now credit score is written. So the return credit score is something that it is maybe good or it may not be good, but that credit score is returned to the loan management system. Now what loan management system will do? It will pass that particular credit score along with the entire customer information into CRM database. It is customer relationship management database, and customer relationship management database has ability to automate the data or taking the decisions on the basis of data. So it's all along very different, different topic. We will not go deeper into that, but let's remember that there is another database which stores the data, and now it's time along with the old data. Now CRM database is having some credit score, and on the combination of these two data, this CRM database will take some decisions. Now when all this thing happen, the next stage will happen, that approve or reject loan. Now the credit report which is received, actually this credit report and along with all data is automated or received from the CRM database. Now it is passed for approver or reject loan. Again it is in circle because it is the process. Now once it is get finalize loan decision, whatever the loan decision is, that whether the loan is getting approved or reject, now it's time to notify the customer. Customer should know that the whatever the decision has been taken place, whether it is approve or rejection, it should be notified. So finally from that process, which process is under action? Notify customer process. So this notify customer process will notify the loan status. It is just a notification, yes or no. Here we are not talking about the disbursement of money. Yet zero amount of money is transferred to the customer. It is just decision which is now notified to the customer. Now this thing is happened. So here we can see the data, from where data is getting stored, from where data is fetching, how CRM database comes to an action and something like that. Well, once we have decided to approve the loan, now this process move along. Now the next is bank database comes into an action. This is the place where data is saved, but after entire process happened, and now it is taken decision that now we want to approve the loan to the customer. So that final data, whatever the final data, is now getting to customer information into bank database. That bank database save the data, entire data, and it receive, they means provide the loan information in the return, that how much amount, something like that, whatever is there is now getting to the taking decision for that approve or reject loan process. And once this happened, the next is disbursement of loan happens. So another process is here, that once the received data from the bank database, the approval is finalized, then approve and disburse loan is going to happen. So this is another process. And in this process, when this process happened, the amount or money get deposited into customer's bank account. See, the transfer of loan amount is happened. So overall, in this particular data flow diagram, we have seen various databases where data is stored, where data is fetched from that particular database for various applications. And we have also seen the various processes involved here. We have also seen the various external entities will interact with the processes as well. So overall, it gives the flowing of data from from one process to another process, or it also helps us to how the data is fetched to complete any process in the loan management system. So I guess now it is pretty much clear to you what is data flow diagram, and we have seen the example as well for the loan management system. So it makes quite a clearer picture for you now. Now let's see benefits of data flow diagram. Clarity, it gives visually, as we have already seen, it's visually organized and clarify how data moves within the system, making it easy to understand. Then problem identification, it helps in identifying inefficiencies, bottlenecks, or missing data flows in the system. Then communication, a data flow diagram is useful communicating system requirement between stakeholder, developers, and business analyst. And system design, it serves a foundation for more detailed system design and help in database and process modeling. So we can say that overall data flow diagram is quite beneficial in business analysis process. Now let's move to the final technique which we will see under the process modeling, and let's see how it works. Business processes model and notation, that is BPMN. BPMN is graphical notation standard used to model business processes in clear, standardized, and visually intuitive way, and it is widely adopted by business analysts, developers, and other stakeholders to represent workflows and processes across various industries. Basically, BPMN is fancy but easy to understand way of drawing how a business process works. Well, it uses simple symbol to show what's happening step by step, so anyone can look at it and get idea quickly. This is the very big advantage of BPMN. BPMN helps bridge the communication gap between business stakeholders who understand the business process and technical teams who implement the system to support the process, because technical team is someone who is going to implement, and the business stakeholder, those who know the business top and down. So it's like, common language between business folks and a technical team. Everyone may speak differently, but with BPMN diagrams, they all understand the same process without confusion. And the last point is BPMN standardized process representation, making it easy to document, analyze, and optimize processes. In short, BPMN follows a set of format. It keeps things clean and consistent. Well, this makes it simple to spot issues, then improve workflows and explain them clearly to someone else. So in short, BPMN is giving the clear cut picture of what system is doing and the system capability. There are various tools in the market which are used for BPMN. For like Lucid Chart is there, then Microsoft Visio, then Draw.io, then this specialized BPMN tool is Bizagi, and most favorite PowerPoint, which is very basic one, very for basic shapes. PowerPoint can also be used, but generally nowadays, I used Visio for the BPMN, and it is quite helpful as well. So using this tool you can make your life easy for for creating BPMN. Now let's move and check the core elements of BPMN. Well, there are lots of elements which are lots of symbols involved in BPMN, because it is quite broader picture, quite bigger picture of entire system. So there are various element and various symbols. So for showing the flow object, there are three symbols: circle, then a rectangle, then the diamond, means something like that we can say that. So circle is used for event, which represents something that happens in a process, like starting event, then intermediate event, or we can call it as end event. It's kind of process which is starting, ending, something like that. We can use the circle. Then activity, for activity we can use this particular rectangle, and its activity like filling form, verify document, approving request, we can use this. And gateway, again it is nothing but a decision, taking for decision. A diamond which we have used in flowchart, if you remember, the same here, the gateway, it is a decision is taken place. If there are any yes or no, then this particular symbol is used. Then the next is connection between the various processes, something like that. Then there are three types of arrow: sequence flow, message flow, and association. Well, you can spot the difference between three arrow. In the last one you will see the very small kind of dots are there, and the message flow is having quite intermediate lines are quite long, and in sequence flow there is no breaking of the arrow. And the last is swim lanes. So this is something which is very new to you. When you will see graphically, you will get better idea. So they are divided into pools and lanes. It represent a participants in the process, means everyone who is going to participate in the process are considered into the pools. Whether it is department or organization, each and everything is considered into pool. And lanes are something subdivision within the pool, often representing roles and teams, means as per the person these lanes are taken care place, means are divided, I'll say, as per the department. Means if there are different department, then each department lies in each and every, means in every lane. Will see, means right now you might get confused what exactly this is, but when you will see into hands on, so you will get exact idea what exactly I am trying to tell. It is very easy to understand. Then next is artifacts, means for a data object, the symbol we can see, this is quite a universal symbol, everyone can use. Then visual group related element, we can see this kind of breaking line is used here. And for annotation, means if you want some add or note, something like that, then we use such a specialized symbol there for particular purpose. So this is all about core elements which are involved in BPMN, and using each and every symbol we will develop the BPMN for loan management system, and let's see how it works. So BPMN begins with pool. Pool is nothing but entire system I am talking about here. Entire software is talking about. Entire software is closed inside that particular pool. Just imagine that. And this pool is now divided by swim lanes, and each swim lane is nothing but the specified region for that particular external entity which is going to interact with the system. So now entire system is divided into small swim lane, and now we will implement into our loan management system and see how it works again. Well, now you can see that the that pool is now divided into swim lane, and each swim lane is now showing its your their own external entity like customer, loan officer, credit analyst, then that credit bureau system which I am talking about, then loan manager, then customer experience head, and finance department. So everyone is for different department, and they have their own space in that particular system, and in that space, within that space they will work. So what the customer will do? Event start. So in the circle you can see that there is an event which is now getting start, which is inside the circle. Now the process begins, that sequence flow, that arrow which we can see. And the process first activity is apply for loan. Activity is enclosed in the rectangle. So the apply for loan is happened. So now this is entirely in the customer swim lane. Is it the process of loan officer or credit analyst or loan manager? Do you think that? No, it is a something which is done by the customer. That's why the application of apply for loan is happened only the swim lane of customer. But now this thing is now need to jump somewhere, and now it is moving to loan officer lane, because the document verification is not done by customer, because the someone who is going to submit the application, and then he is only the one who verified document. In this way it's not work. So there is another someone who is going to check this particular application, but for that we need to cross that swim lane, and we have used here message flow, the arrow which we have used here. And here in the loan officers lane, means loan officer swim lane, we can see that verification of document is going to happen. Now once documents get verified, then there is time to decide whether it is correct or not. So that's why in the same swim lane, sorry, we have added gateway. Gateway is nothing but decision maker. Now it is making decision whether it is correct or not. If it is correct, then it may move to another swim lane. If it is not correct, it may move back to customer swim lane. So imagine that in first place it is documents are not correct. So documents are not correct, then again the message go back to the customer lane, means now it's customer involvement, and here the task is that inform missing document. Now this information is going to the customer, and now one thing you might have noticed, informed for missing, this particular activity is not added in other swim lane. It is solely customers now responsibility. That's why it is inside the customer lane. To make it more clearer, we can add annotation here. Annotation is like that: once the correct documents are provided, the application goes back to the loan officer for review. Means this is something message we have written here, so that everyone can understand who whether it is business stakeholder or even the developer, whosoever see this particular diagram, they will get bigger or greater idea what exactly happening here. Now let's imagine that that particular documents are correct. Now the documents are correct, then it is again crossing the swim lane, and now it's lie under the credit analyst swim lane. Here credit bureau is involved, and they check the credit score. On the basis of credit score, loan disbursement and loan rejection, something like that, decisions might be taken. Means they will going to take that approval and non-approval of loan on the basis of credit score. Again, to take that decision, we will add one more gateway. Here valid score is decided, whether score is valid or not. Two things may happen. If score is not valid, loan gets rejected. If score is valid, then this process will move forward. It may go to loan manager lane, then it may go to customer experience lane, and finally finance department lane as well. So now it's here decision whether the process ends here or it will move forward. Let's imagine that a valid score is not there with the customer. So what happened then? There might be chances, there are not chances, means the loan gets rejected and process suddenly end. So now you get that particular end happened here, event ends here, means process start with customer, but in a very third lane it is decided that loan is not approved to the customer because he or she is not having the valid credit score. So here the picture ends for that particular customer, that yes, you are not getting the loan. But if the score is valid, then what happened? If the score is valid, again it is crossing the swim lane, and now from credit analyst, now it into the bucket of loan manager. Loan manager is someone who is going to take the decision of approval of loan. So that particular loan manager is into his lane. He will find that credit score is fine, every documents are clear, something like that, and now he will move that particular loan or particular process move forward, that yes, the everything is fine, now approve the loan. Once approve the loan decision taken place, then that particular loan report is created. For that creation of loan, that particular report for that particular loan, the customer experience head lane is activated. So it's now work of customer experience head to create that particular loan and store that report or create that report. Means it is something like that document. That's why you can see that a data object comes into play here. So the report is created here for the customer who applied for the loan, and it is in the lane of customer experience head. It clearly says that creating loan report is not work of credit analyst, loan officer or loan manager. It is customer experience head work, and this particular process which we will develop is solely for customer experience head. Now the next, once it is decided, finance department comes into action, disburse loan get disbursed to the customer and process gets end. So here we can say that again it is in the different lane, again it is in the finance department lane. The process is different, that particular activity is different, not process. If we are in a BPMN, we call it as a activity. Activity is different, and this activity is solely depend upon, or it is a work of finance department. And here we can say that process gets end. There are two chances: one, the loan may get to the customer or loan may reject it. So in this way, in a clearer way, you can say that there are various external entities, external departments are involved in this particular process, and for simplicity they are divided into different part, and we are seeing that how we are jumping from one process or one external entity to another external entity, how we are passing the process from one place to another place, or how one activity, after the completion activity, we can jump onto the lane of other external entity. So here we can say that this is overall picture of the BPMN for loan management system. Now let's see the advantages of BPMN. Simplicity. Well, yeah, it is easy to learn and understand. Versatility. Well, again, can model simple and complex process. So from simplest to the complex process, everything can be modeled. What we have seen for loan management system, it little bit simple to moderate, not that much complex, honestly. Then integration works well within business process management tools, so that is also very good. And industry standard, widely recognized and supported by a tool, and this is very widely used in industry. BPMN is one of the most important technique in process modeling, and each and every business analyst once in a while use in their business analysis journey. Honestly, BPMN is a huge topic on its own, but my goal was to make your life easier when you actually face real life project. So I kept it simple and practical. Yes, there is a lot of more to BPMN, but honestly, this level of understanding is more than enough to help you model processes and handle most real world life scenarios. Well, in this way, we can conclude BPMN by saying that it helps us visually map out business processes in a way that's easy to understand for business and tech teams. It brings clarity, improves communication, and sets the stage for better process design and automation. So, with this, we can also say that we have covered all the important techniques which are involved in process modeling, and we can conclude this topic as well. So, with wrap up this topic, process modeling is more than just drawing diagrams. It helps everyone from stakeholders to developer understand the system clearly. It boosts communication, spot inefficiencies, and guide system designs. Plus, it supports automation, ensure compliance, and helps in making smarter business decisions. All in all, it lays the foundation for continuous improvement and long-term success. I hope you have a better idea of process modeling and techniques like flowcharts, data flow diagrams, use case diagram, and BPMN. In the next tutorial, we will dive into feasibility analysis, cost benefit analysis, and return on investment. So stay tuned. As our ritual, before we wrap up, just one final thought to leave you. Thank you so much for hanging out till the end. If you found even a bit of value in this video, make sure to like, comment, and share it with your friends. I genuinely love hearing thoughts and your questions. And most important, don't forget to subscribe so you are all set for the upcoming videos. And I promise you, we will keep exploring the amazing world of business analysis together. See you in the next one. Thank you very much.